Hello everyone, welcome to another draft class recap video. My name is Brock Osweiler. Let's get started. Not plugged in. Alright, so today we're talking about the Denver Broncos. This is going to be one of the fun ones because they decided to go offense pretty often as opposed to a team like Carolina Panthers who decided to go defense all the time. What they've done for Drew Lock in this draft is give him the opportunity to really ascend, and he's got a lot of new weapons to play with this year alongside Cortland Sutton. And I think leading up to this draft, a lot of people, at least in the mock draft community, had the Denver Broncos pegged for a wide receiver with the 15th overall pick in the first round. And myself included, thought that the obvious choice would be Henry Ruggs, somebody to take the top off the defense with some blazing speed. That turned out not to be a possibility because Henry Ruggs was drafted 3 spots ahead of the Broncos to the Raiders at 12 overall. But that meant that with no other wide receivers going in the next couple picks, that the Broncos had their choice of CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. And I believe that I read that Jerry Jeudy was number 1 on their board, so that's the route that they went. Pick round 1, pick 15, Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver from Alabama. Consensus All-American in 2018, had 26 touchdowns and 2,742 yards for his career at Alabama, and ran a 4.45 40 time at the NFL Combine. So maybe he's not as fast as Henry Ruggs, but he's still plenty fast enough. And it's going to be a great pairing with him and Cortland Sutton in this offense for Drew Lock. But the Broncos weren't done there adding weapons for Drew Lock. Round 2, pick 46, they went with KJ Hamler, the wide receiver from Penn State. Only played 2 years at Penn State, missed his sophomore season, but did manage 1,658 yards for his career and 13 touchdowns. This kid's also going to be very prevalent on special teams. He did a lot of kick return and punt return work for the Nittany Lions during his time at Penn State. So that could be a role that he slides into almost immediately. All right, moving on to the third round. They have 3 picks. First one was pick 77, Michael Ojemudia, the corner from Iowa. And corner was another position that people had toyed with in their first round mocks for Denver because of the loss of Chris Harris Jr. this year. So they figured some individuals figured that they might go like C.J. Henderson, Christian Fulton. Maybe they could even get Jeff Gladney if they traded back. But they waited until round 3 to address the corner issue, and it's not a bad pick. He had 125 tackles at Iowa, 6 interceptions, and last season he was actually the 5th-ranked corner in the Big Ten with 9 passes defended. So there's definitely some potential here. Moving on to their 83rd pick overall, they took Lloyd Cushenberry, the center from LSU. As I've said before, when in doubt, take somebody from LSU. Lloyd Cushenberry was one of those interior offensive line players that I was pretty high on this year, and most of that has to do with spending a lot of time looking for potential draft picks for the Minnesota Vikings due to the issues that we have on the interior of our own offensive line. But Lloyd Cushenberry is an absolute, great pick, especially for this part of the third round. I had him pegged as probably a round 2 player. Moving on to their 95th overall pick, they had McTelvin Agim, the defensive tackle from Arkansas, who, pretty productive career at Arkansas, had 140 tackles and 14 and a half sacks during his tenure there. So he'll fill in on the defense pretty nicely. Round 4, pick 118, they took the tight end Albert Okwuegbunam. Alberto, tight end from Missouri, who is a big guy, 6'5", and a fast guy, 4.49 40 time. His time with Missouri, 1,187 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 years with the Tigers. So what they've done is this offense, man. So you've got Cortland Sutton, you've got KJ Hamler, you've got Jerry Jeudy, you've got Alberto. Oh, did we also mention that they drafted Noah Fant in the first round last year? So there's all of these shiny new toys. Plus Melvin Gordon's in town. That diminutive running back whose name escapes me right now. It's just, this is a dream. Like, let's just hope that the system that's in place and the coaching staff is able to put all of this together. Otherwise, you have just ingredients that don't make a meal. So hopefully they can make a meal out of all this talent that they suddenly have. And I think Drew Lock is going to be in for quite the year if they're able to figure this out, which I have some hope for. All right, moving on to the 5th round, pick 178, we've got Justin Sternad, linebacker from Wake Forest, a decent linebacker, amassed 244 tackles in his career at Wake Forest and 8 sacks for the Demon Deacons. Round 6, pick 181, Natane Muti, guard from Fresno State. I probably just butchered his name. I should have did a pronunciation guide before I recorded this, but oh well, I skipped some steps. Not much really to say. I think there was some injury concerns with him, so that's why he was drafted where he was. A lot of people, I think, considered this a pretty good value pick. Moving on, we have a couple late round, 7-round picks. 252, Tyree Cleveland, wide receiver for Florida. And also in the 7th round, 254, 2 picks later, Derek Tuska, edge from North Dakota. Tyree Cleveland, not a bad wide receiver for Florida, 1,271 yards, 8 touchdowns. Kind of dished out wide receiver 3 numbers during his tenure there, like 300 yards in a season, 400 yards in a season, 500 yards in a season, so on and so forth. So not a bad value pick, probably a special teamer, maybe somebody that doesn't even make the roster, but I digress. The entire draft is pretty fun. Is it one of the more talked about drafts, now that we're in May? I don't really think so. Not a lot of people are bringing up the Denver Broncos. I think this one kind of flew under the radar, but I'm very excited what they've done on offense because, I can't wait to get my hands on Madden this year and just try this team out because this is going to be a lot of fun. Very excited about Jerry Jeudy. He was my absolute wide receiver number 2. CeeDee Lamb was number 1 for me. At least it was recently. For a long time, I had Jerry Jeudy as wide receiver 1, but I believe the CeeDee Lamb's athleticism just pushed the barrier just a little bit. And of course, you've got KJ Hamler and Albert O paired with Noah Fant. This is going to be an exciting team this year, and I look forward to it. Overall, like I said, I don't give really grades for these drafts, but I would give this a healthy bowl of Raisin Bran. Pretty good. All right, that's going to be it for this draft class recap. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.